Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Heather with Rose Hill Paper Cottage, and I just wanted to show kind of a video where I am using up some wallpaper scraps that I was gifted from Gabriella at Penny and Rose Paperie. And I'm just going to create some real fun tags with them. I thought it was time to use them up, and I'm getting ready to work on a whole new journal collection that has a real vintage vibe to it. And I just want to utilize these tags for that project. So I'm just using some previously, tea-dyed cardstock that I've, trimmed down into the sizes that I want. And I just have some real simple, like book pages, a little bit of French as well, and like a French document. And I'm just, looking at all these wallpaper scraps. I mean, she gave me tons and tons of them. And I'm just looking to see what works. And these are really super simple tags, but it's just, I think the results are stunning. So I'm using a Scotch glue stick. A lot of times I'll use the Beacon glue, but I just kind of want to see what that Scotch glue stick does. It's real sticky. It's a permanent adhesive. It's the first time I've used, these glue sticks, and they're pretty sticky. So I kind of want to see how they do. Sometimes when you work with like vintage wallpaper and stuff, it's got that porosity that doesn't want to stick very well. So we'll just see, how they turn out. So I'm just going through all these beautiful scraps and just trying to decide what I like, how I want them, but overall, I want them really simple. I want to mix them, and I just really want that almost like if you've been in an old house and, they're redoing it and they're peeling back the wallpaper, that there might be another wallpaper underneath. So kind of a little bit that feel. But I want them to kind of be cohesive as well. I actually really love how, when I had tea stained the cardstock, I wasn't that crazy about it at first, but I really like it now. After it really dried and has sat around for a bit, it looks really nice. I love this wallpaper here, and this ends up actually being my favorite. I don't know what it is. The colors, I'm not really sure, but it's so pretty, and I just love it. So I'm taking a leftover digital piece. I think it might be French. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm really utilizing a lot of scraps and some book pages here. And then you'll see I kind of make everything, and I try not to cut it right away because it gets the scissors all gummed up. But sometimes I'm impatient and I cut it anyway. But you'll see once they'll be in frame later as you can see them. So I'm just trying to decide here what I like best. And I feel like I like those patterns together, but I just want there to be a little bit of a break between them. So I'm just taking another document. So what I do is I kind of just lay out the papers onto the tag and just kind of envision, what it might look like. And then I kind of go from there, and then I decide, to glue it down. And some take me a little bit longer to decide, and some I kind of, see it right away. It's kind of funny too, because I'm doing a voiceover, so I'm looking back, and some stuff I pulled, I was like, oh, that would have looked good still. That would have looked good. But it's kind of funny when you're in the moment and you're crafting and your vision and the way that you see things, when you can kind of step back from it, you're kind of like, oh, those would have worked anyway, but you kind of second guess yourself sometimes as you create. And then I've got vintage photo for the distress ink, which I'll be utilizing. So this printable here is from Jessica Rapp, I believe. Her shop is Two Silver Oranges on Etsy, and I bought this digital ages ago, and I'm very I print stuff out and I'm very like forgetful, and I'm like, you know what? I should use that. It's got beautiful script. I'm not exactly sure what kind of book that she got it from, but I really love it. So a lot of these are the end, the wallpaper pieces, they're that like the end of where they would have been in the book. So they have like these holes in it, but I love that. I love that these are going to look like so just old vintage, been around forever kind of look. That's really what I want to go for. And it doesn't really show up on screen as much as it will in person. But we'll just kind of see how it all comes together, this project. But that's definitely like the look I'm going for, is something very, just very old and very vintage. And maybe some of you will guess, like what my project is going to be in this new journal collection. I'm just really excited. I'm really stepping out of my, kind of my zone a little bit by utilizing things that I don't normally use when I create, journals. So here I am, I'm trimming a bit. And you can see it sticks to the scissors. I just wasn't quite patient enough, but it's fine. So I'm still going to make a few more here. I have quite a few to make, but I think I only make 7 on camera. Now this wallpaper was really pretty as well. The blue with that yellow gold was just really, really stunning. And I think I actually end up picking this brown one. The colors just looked so good together. I just really, really liked it. And I use a book here like to help me glue, and that's really just because it just keeps my desk a little bit, cleaner and, drier so stuff doesn't stick to it. Inevitably that stuff still happens, but I try to, cut down on that a little bit. So here is where I'm really wanting to use this pattern paper, because I really, really like it. But you can't see as well, but it's got this close up, like it's been folded for years. And so there's it's a little dirty looking, which is kind of the look I'm going for. But I really didn't want it to distract from the wallpapers that I was using. So I end up picking this, section, which is really, really cool, but then I don't like it. It didn't feel right after I got it all together, and I was like looking at it, and then I was kind of like, I don't really like it. So you'll see, and it looks fine on camera, but I didn't like it. There I am thinking about it. And I keep trying to go back to that French document. And then I was like, you know what? This is the one. So this is a French book page. And I decide that I believe that that's the one. And you know what? That's how things go sometimes. They're easy fixes. So I was trying to decide if I had it lined up good enough. Sometimes I'm a little bit weird about stuff like that, about, things being straight, or, even though it's so funny because I rip and I tear things and I have things, all different directions, and there's, holes in the wallpaper. But then like if the lines aren't straight, then I kind of, freak out a bit. But that's just how I work. So I'm much more pleased with that and the way that looked. So now I do want to use this French document, and I'm looking through to see, which wallpapers, kind of just really grab my attention. And I find this blue one, and I think I got this in some nice Happy Mail from Cynthia, but I'm not 100% positive. Or maybe Cassie. I don't know, but it's real pretty. It's got this like dark blue. I don't think it's as old of a wallpaper, but it's given me the vibe that I'm going for. And there's some embossed wallpaper there. And I just think all of it looks so good together, Okay, so I think this is all the ones that I made. Sometimes I use an eraser to go back to get the glue off. I don't know if you've ever like tried that trick, but sometimes it works. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it works. So now I'm distressing a bit. And this is Vintage Photo, if I didn't already mention it. And I just kind of go around and, I want it to look kind of like a natural aging kind of look. But, I like that it gives depth. I think that's my favorite part about it. I don't want these to look new. And then I believe I pull out the antique linen one and I'll go over some of the areas that maybe I feel are a little bit too dark. So you'll see me do that in a second here after I kind of go through. And some I don't, when I do things like this, I don't always darken everything the exact same. I like there to be differences. I don't have this, method of where I do, every single tag like exactly the same. Some just lend themselves to being darker and to having a little bit more distressing on them. And some, I like them a little bit lighter. So now I'm going to punch the holes. And I just guess here. So I want to grab these labels, and I just feel like it'd be really cute to have labels on each of the tags. And I'm picking the colors. I believe I have blue, green, and red and like a burgundy color. And then I'm going to use these stamps from Sam Poole. I don't remember the name of them, but I've used them before, and they're really cool. They just give that extra little pop, to the tag. And I'm stamping a few more out on that paper because I can't decide. Like, if I don't like some of the labels, I may just use that paper to be the label. So I'm just picking like a variety. Like, I don't want them all to be the same. I don't mind if I have a couple that are the same. But I do want there to be some different ones. These won't all go into the same, journals, so it'll be okay. So I'm just kind of lining up. That's one thing I love about like clear stamps is that you can, see through them. So you can see like not only where you're going to stamp, but how it's going to look on your whatever it is that you're stamping on, whether it be, a little label like that or actually on your project itself. So I'm just kind of going through and just deciding what works, what I like the best. And these would have been really cute, actually, like looking at it now, they would have been even cute without the stamping, but I think that stamping is super cute. So here I'm going to put a border around a couple of these, ones that I did on this like old writing paper to see if I like it. And I end up not liking the one that I'm cutting down a little bit further for the one that I was using that on. And you'll see what I do there. I'll go on to the whole reinforcements and then I'll start coming back to that. So I'm going to glue down all the labels and then, kind of start thinking about my whole reinforcements and what I want them to look like. And then I'm like, let me just finish off the labels. I get distracted very easily. But it doesn't that label, it just adds that extra little something. I mean, it just makes it look, more finished. It makes it look cute. Obviously, every stage that you take with your tag as you go through and add all the different elements to it, it starts looking more and more finished. But that label just really, I think it really kicked it up a notch. These are so super cute. I just love how they turned out. I wasn't sure, I'd never tried it before, with this type of method of using multiple, wallpapers and just like throwing them down. Usually I'll use like one and, other elements that are, more neutral or something. So there I am. I lined it with a little bit of, I backed it, not lined it. I backed it with a little bit of brown wallpaper, and I just felt like that looked better and not as harsh as the black ink. So here I'm just trying to decide like on the hole reinforcements and what I want to do. And I go through a number of things. I have that hole reinforcer punch from I think it's We Are Memory Keepers one that I'll pull out sometimes. And then obviously I have my others, that are, right there on the table that, I've tea stained. And then I have some others on the table there that I have inked up after tea staining them, which are real cute too. But I decided to take like a lot of the different, wallpaper and paper pieces and kind of make like a little bit of a rough square, and then put the hole reinforcer over it. I just felt like the hole reinforcer was small and it got lost in all that pattern, and I really still wanted it to stand out as well. So I hope you really enjoy this. I mean, they're really, really cute. I'll line them all up and I'll show you, what they all look like afterwards. The only thing I haven't added yet is their the ribbon or the twine or whatever I decide to use with them. I tend to do that when they get put into the journal, because sometimes that determines like what colors I use or what style, that sort of thing. So you won't see that part here, but you'll see, them all finished up to that point. But I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it inspired you to grab some of those scraps that you have and start using them and make some really cute, simple tags. So thanks for watching, everybody. This will continue on, but I hope you do enjoy it.